totality, right? If you look at it from the beginning of this year to now, the story is very clear. Like the demand hasn't changed. And how do we know? Well, we started the month when we looked at TSM and their reporting, and we said that that was going to be important, right? We need to see if from the manufacturing and packaging side, has this story slowed down? Has momentum slowed down? And unequivocally, it was no. It hasn't slowed down from the manufacturing and packaging side. ASML would be in that category. I know they reported back to back. All right, well, we passed the first hurdle. Now, did the market respond in the manner that we thought? No, but that's okay. We're not thinking from a short term perspective. Then the hyperscalers came into focus the last couple of weeks, and that was an important moment, right? We needed to see if the hyperscalers were going to tell us a different story. Were they painting a new scenario? And we saw Meta and we saw Microsoft, and there was two different tales of what happened last Tuesday. But one thing remained the same, and that capex was still at the forefront, and it hadn't slowed down. Right, like Meta decided that they were going to spend more. Microsoft said they were going to spend more, but they leaned more toward the lower end of their expectation. And something very key happened. The first time all year, Microsoft decided, hey, not only are we spending more, but we're actually starting to see revenue come back from this capex spend, which is very important. So when you look at the Azure growth, and that was the key number I was looking at, have they grown in cloud? And once I saw that the cloud number grew, I knew that this was going to be a story. And we've been talking about it since we were in DC in February about where Microsoft was going to be headed. That was positive. Meta did something very different. They talked about how it's still going to take some time and it's still going to need a little bit more proving to do. And then we saw Apple and we saw Amazon report, and I'm like, okay, perfect. Demand is still there. CapEx is actually going up. Amazon is the number one spender. And why is a CapEx spend important? Because it tells me money is still out there. They're still spending it, and now it becomes where. So now the infrastructure piece comes back into play. So if they're spending it, they're saying, look, we have revenue, we're getting it from our cloud service. That tells me that the infrastructure story is still very much in play, and that speaks directly into the AI chip space. And so if we're talking about compute, then we're going to need GPUs, we're going to need CPUs, we're going to need memory. All of the companies we've been talking about all year, there was now a validation. Okay, CapEx is still intact. Memory is still going to be a part of this fold. Semis is still going to be part of the fold. Infrastructure is going to be part of the fold. I know we saw ARM report, and they had some really good earnings. The story still remains. Now, did the market respond in a positive way in July? No, it didn't. But that's part of the next story, right? And that kind of paints another picture for us in terms of being a very intelligent person versus being a very intelligent investor. So the AI story is here. I know we got AMD reporting tomorrow. We'll talk about that. I'm super excited, and I'll be telling you the exact things we need to be looking for if we're going to be investing in that. Uh, Nvidia will be reporting at the end of the month, so we got some time into that. And then obviously we just saw Micron report at the end of June. So everything is right in the realm of what we thought it would be. SanDisk is going to be reporting Wednesday, which is going to be a big number, in my estimation, and as well as Western Digital. So you got the semiconductors reporting, you had the capex spend from the hyperscalers reporting. All signs point to yes, this story is going to continue at definitely to the end of this year, and we're talking about maybe sold out into 2027 when we're talking about the. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yo. Infinity. All right, he's on the mic. Infinity. All right, yeah, he's on the microphone, so.
It's sitting now down in the 580s. So this retracement that we saw in July, a lot of people were like, when should I invest? When is it going to be a good time? We saw some of these companies pull back 30, 40, 50%. What did we do? That'll be the key teller of how we end our year. When we saw the market reset, especially in some of these subsectors that we're in, and I say subsector because obviously all semis are not created the same, all memory's not created the same, and I think that's a very good indication to make. We watched SanDisk move. We watched Micron kind of struggle today, right, until it kind of closed above. Well, they're really having a fight with is high bandwidth memory going to be curtailed by what China's doing? Well, high bandwidth memory is different from NAND memory, which is different from SSD memory, right? These companies are not all created equal, so we have to be mindful of that as well. But those stories are still going to play out. I love TSM. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I think TSM crosses 400 this year, just from what I've seen from the demand from all these hyperscalers and what I've seen from all the semis. The role that TSM plays.
You said crosses 500?
400.
TSM?
Yeah,
It's already.
What number is it?
406.
450 is the number there. 450. I thought we were sitting at 309 like we was last week. So 450 will be my number for TSM. Who else you got? ASML?
Yeah.
I got to wait on ASML. Only because the news out of China, and we highlighted it last week, it's concerning from a long-term perspective, but I want to see how fast they can get these machines up and running. And the news from TSM in regards to ASML, we reported about this a few months ago, is also something that raises concern for me, where TSM is saying, hey, we're going to slow down on ordering machines. We're going to try to figure out how to scale and build something compatible so we can have more efficiency from the ones that we have. That slows down demand. That's their biggest customer, Samsung number 2. So we just got to be mindful of ASML. Definitely still believe in it, but I'm a little more watching that a little bit more carefully.
Microsoft finally out of their slumber. Last week they had a big day, and that was something that we talked about for a long time. Microsoft been sleeping for almost 2 years now, so a lot of people holding Microsoft 2 tech 2 index. That was a big day for Microsoft.
Yeah. Again, shout out to everybody that's been on this long journey with Microsoft. I remember being in DC and saying, like, we're going to do this 400 call out to August 15th. And just month after month, we were just getting beat up in that call. Actually extended that call out to December of 2028. Just because the story of Microsoft is very clear. You're talking about a leader in terms of market cap. You're talking about a leader in terms of AI. We already know its position with OpenAI and its 20% ownership. But I think one of the things that I kind of highlighted then was we have to really look in depth of what's happening inside the company, right? Like when it got beat up for the last quarter, it was because they saw a pullback in the growth of their cloud service, Azure. And the reason was because they said, you know what, if we're going to spend, we need to spend internally and we need to build it out even further. So we're going to spend more money to make more money for the long run. And once you understand that picture, then you can kind of figure out, all right, CapEx spend is not just something that they're throwing money away at, they're actually reinvesting it. What happened, obviously, again, is they finally were able to turn profit. And that's important, right? Because not only did that benefit them as a company, right? It was at $400 now. Where are we trading at today? 460, 470, somewhere up there. The reality is that Microsoft year to date is up 1%.
47.
40, and it's up 1% year to date. So a lot of people are saying, did we miss it? Did we miss it? It's been an incredible run over the past week since earnings. It's moved 1% this year. So there's so much more room for growth when you're talking about AWS, when you're talking
but it went up $100. I mean,
this is important.
And last month, it was 300. No, last week it was $381. Now it's $487. So Microsoft has jumped $100 in one week, which is actually historic for its stock.
It
went up 12%.
It had its
last
greatest
Thursday.
It had its greatest day of any mega cap company
ever.
One day ever. Right. So I'm saying, like, if people are thinking they missed the story, if they thought they missed the boat, yeah, you might not have been in those 400 calls that we did in February. You might not have been in the one we did in June. This story is far from over, right? Like, they're not saying that we're going to slow down spending. No, we actually are starting to see return on our spend. So we're going to figure out how we expedite that even more so. So this story that Microsoft is paying in the Copilot piece, we obviously know with OpenAI, their partnership with Anthropic, they're very much at the forefront. I think the next piece that we need to watch is the enterprise agent. And that's been like part of the language over the past few weeks is, how do we scale this? Well, we can talk about software, and then Microsoft got caught in that downward spiral where all software gets beat up. You're talking about Palantir, you're talking about ServiceNow, you're talking about Workday, and we'll talk about Palantir later on. Microsoft gets thrown in that because when you think Copilot, you think software, but there's so many different verticals inside of the business that can generate revenue that it makes it even more attractive. And so that agentic enterprise software, that agentic agent, that's going to be leading the charge. That in cloud service over the next few quarters is what we need to be focused on, because Microsoft's story is far from over. I think they just raised the price target to $650 by end of year, which gives us tremendous upside. So if you had Microsoft on your watch list,
I was just anxious, but at the same time,
if you had Microsoft on your watch list, if you had it as a stock that you want to get into in 2026, this is that momentum, right? When we follow positive trends, this is a trend. $100 in 2 weeks is nothing to sneeze at. In 3 days, really, is nothing to sneeze at. Can we continue this momentum? I think we can in the next couple of weeks when these semis start to report. Hopefully it'll carry that win.
Mike, mute your computer, please. Please mute your computer.
What was that?
We got the message from HQ that Citadel actually brought a lot of Microsoft stock, and that brings us to the story of Leo. I want you to tell the story, and then I'm gonna add the animation to it.
All right, okay. So let's talk about Leopold. I'll put it like this: this is somebody who is super intelligent. Obviously, worked for OpenAI, left the company, decided to create a hedge fund about a year, maybe 18 months ago. But the hedge fund was based on investing in AI infrastructure, the AI story. A lot of energy, a lot of semis are inside that. And the portfolio was, like, again, started about 18
Well,
months.
let me tell the story.
Which one? Which part? Oh, the whole thing.
Let me just tell the animated part of it.
Okay.
And then you add the technical part of it.
All right, got it.
So Leo. So once upon a time, was a guy named Leo, right?
Leopold, which I don't even like the name, but that's another story.
We'll call him Leo.
All right.
Super smart dude, but not really a background in finance, working in OpenAI, and starts a hedge fund and really studies the stock market, sees where this thing is going as far as chips are concerned, and becomes a overnight sensation as far as investment is concerned, giving you the abbreviated version.
Yep.
Starts a hedge fund, and within like 18 months, grows the hedge fund to $45 billion.
From 225 million to 45 billion in about a little over 18 months. Here's the companies he invested in: CoreWeave, Nibius, Solaris, Applied Digital, Core Scientific, Bloom Energy, Iron, Micron, SanDisk, just to name a few.
So his hedge fund was crazy. It was up like 450% over the year. It was just he was the everybody wanted to invest with him. He figured it out. He cracked the code for Wall Street.
Bro, he ran it
and he's invested in all those companies, all of those companies, all of the companies that had crazy run-ups. And he was doing so good in life that he actually decided to get married.
Nah.
He did?
He got married this weekend.
I understand that. See, that's what I'm saying. So he was on a run. He's on a hell of a run. He's a billionaire overnight. his portfolio that he's managing is worth almost $50 billion. He's got his investors 450 percent over the year.
Yeah.
Some billion, I think, or I think
Gets married, sets his wedding to get married.
Okay, that's fair.
It's a whole situation. And
so that would be 80.
he even put a thesis out last month saying like this is a generational buy opportunity for all of these companies. Da 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 da. And it's like, man, the biggest gangsters, they all live. It's on Wall Street. That's why I was so fascinated with Wall Street when I was a kid, because I would watch these movies and the way that they would just move like vultures and sharks and piranhas, and it's just so like ruthless. So one fatal mistake that he made is that he over leveraged himself. We tell you guys that all the time. He was doing so well that he started playing a leverage game.
He made a few mistakes. The leverage game was number one. I think investing in those companies early was the smartest thing he did. He's very intelligent. As he's making the money, he decides to start shorting other positions, right? So when you short, you're making puts saying that these things are going to depreciate. But you got to realize when you're in this space, especially at that billionaire club, like you're managing that type of money, your supporters are watching. But the people who you're taking money from and taking customers from, they're also watching. And I think he might have underestimated that. In fact, I definitely know he underestimated that, because it's great when you're the golden child and, hey, this is a new hedge fund. This kid is 25 years old. He's, the real wolf of Wall Street at this point. The old guard is looking at it like, wait, how is he getting these returns, number one? Is he taking our clients, number two? And how can we stop him, number three?
It's like that AZ Nas song back in the days. It's like when we first started, nobody noticed us, nobody gave a shit.
Mm-hmm.
But the bigger we get, the more we're taking from other people. So he starts to take market share.
Mm-hmm.
He starts to leverage. He starts to be very vocal. He has to be taught a lesson. So all of these stocks that he invests in, all of a sudden have historically bad month.
Yeah.
Down 35%, down 40%, down 50%. Historic drop in the portfolio, which forced.
Hold on, simultaneously. As the stocks are dropping, the ones that he put shorts on are appreciating, right? So those companies are actually going up in price. So like if you look at a ServiceNow, which he shorted, it's going up in price. You look at a Microsoft, going up in price. Again, that software basket, he was shorting it. And so they looked at it and said, all right, well, he's shorting that. And he made that public. Okay, let's go put some capital in there to have those companies rise. So as he's saying, like, that's going to go down, those companies are going up, and he's putting big bets on this to appreciate, those are coming down drastically.
So so he's losing money left and right. He's losing money because the stocks just keep going down. MU is going down crazy. Sanders is going down crazy. So these is billions of dollars. His portfolio is now in the red. And what happens when you can't lose any more money? The bank wants their money back. So they start calling his margin calls, which forces him to liquidate stocks en masse. And it gets so bad for him. Within a couple of weeks, last week, he was faced with the predicament that he had to liquidate his whole entire portfolio. And who called him?
They would say he got
the Godfather Ken Griffin.
Yeah, not that Ken Griffin. The real Ken Griffin. Citadel's Ken Griffin.
Citadel's Ken Griffin. If you don't know who he is, Google him.
One of the wealthiest people on the planet.
The Godfather.
Last year, he brought in $33 billion. $33 billion.
The boss of all bosses. Gave him a call on, I believe it was Wednesday.
This happened, yep.
And said, look, I know that you're in a bad spot right now. I'll buy your entire portfolio. Probably 30% on a dollar. Got a deep discount, brought his entire portfolio.
Well, he was allowed to keep some of his portfolio. We got to give him, on all fairness.
Like 10.
He has private investments. He was invested in Anthropic. They allowed him to keep that. But the margin call, and this is why we tell people, like, yo, be careful. Don't play with margins, because when the margin call happens and you don't have that capital, they're going to call you once, and they're not going to call you again. They're just going to start liquidating the portfolio in general. So if you had 10,000 shares or something, you're like, oh, no, I don't want to sell that because I'm trying to hold on to that. I can get the money somewhere. They're going to call you once. They're not calling you again. They're liquidating everything they can to get their money back.
And what happens? Okay, so he's had a terrible month. His portfolio goes down 40%. The margin calls get called. Ken hits him in the middle of the night. Like, look, I'll take this off your hands because you have to get rid of it. He really has no option at this point in time. They squeezed him out. He had to sell. He sold the majority of his whole portfolio to Ken Griffin. And the next day, a historic rally. A historic rally happened the next day.
I think as the news broke, the rally was happening. That broke like Wednesday morning, and by 9:30, you just saw a reversal on all these companies. Micron was up 20%, SanDisk up 27%, Western Digital up 20%, CoreWeave up 14%, Niveus up 15%. The timing of it speaks volumes.
And you know what the craziest part is? It was a week before his wedding.
A day, 2 days. He got married this weekend. Well, he's supposed to get. I don't know if he got married this weekend, but the wedding was supposed to be this weekend.
So allegedly, Wall Street plotted against him, tanked stocks on purpose, squeezed him out of his position, brought his portfolio for pennies on the dollar, then skyrocketed the stocks back up the very next day, and that he lost his portfolio. He got squeezed out of $35 billion. And the cold part about it was 2 days before the wedding.
Filthy. Now, it's filthy for so many reasons. Obviously, the money, being an intelligent investor here would have helped him out tremendously. But the idea that you want to get into positions, especially from retail investors, we always talk about getting in these investments in a good time, watching the moving averages, checking volume. Imagine at the institutional level, as they're watching a SanDisk get up to 2,200, or they're watching a Micron get up to 1,300, and they weren't big on those stories early on. They're sitting asking themselves the same thing. We're going to get a better price for that. We're going to get a better price for that. In fact, allegedly, we're going to make sure we get a better price for that. This guy is becoming a golden child. He was big on these stocks. He's run up to 45 billion. We're going to make sure we get better prices, and better prices came in July. Now, we could say it came at his cost, but it came at a lot of our costs. A lot of us are in those Micron calls and have shares. A lot of us are in SanDisk and have those shares. A lot of us, in Bloom, we were in these calls, CoreWeave. And so, as a retail, we just take the brunt of that. Now, on the flip side, was he wrong in his investment strategy?
Nope.
Partially. The companies were right. They're spot on, right? If they weren't, Citadel wouldn't have came and said, hey, let me get that portfolio. So they got the portfolio with all those companies at a really good price, and now they have that into the future. He didn't have time because, number one, he had margin. He was way over leveraged, right? And he used margin to get a scaled approach to his investments. But this is the crazy part. As he's selling it, you know what he's doing the same day? Putting out a letter to say, you know what, I'm going to start a new fund, and we're raising capital. I'm like, this is like how the world works.
Oh, he's coming back.
He's coming.
It's origin story of the feeling. You fucking me out of 35 billion. I'm gonna need my payback. I'm gonna need mine.
All right.
The day before my wedding, nah, it's on for life. It's smoke for life. Now, I'm on a whole different look. The dude, he gonna be back. Learned his lesson. Yeah. He learned not to over leverage himself. He learned to probably be a little bit more quiet about his moves. Look. It's a major loss, but he's gonna have a comeback because, man, that's the origin. That's the making of origin story right there, man. He got done dirty. He got done really, really, really dirty.
It's a dirty game, but just know, man, there's always somebody watching your movements. And Citadel, there's only a few companies, funds that would be able to even take on that level of acquisition. They were one of them. And he struck right when the iron was hot. Now,
it's the diaper.com story.
In many ways, yes. In many ways, yes.
We covered the diaper.com story earlier on your leisure. If you remember that, put fire in the chat. If you don't remember it, here's the diaper.com story. There was an upstart company called diaper.com.
Somebody might remember.
Who was, you guessed it, selling diapers direct to consumer on a website. And it was actually a very profitable business. And it was growing and it was scaling. And they owned the name, thediaper.com. offer. We appreciate it, but you know we're gonna stay the course. We like our autonomy. We want to remain independent. We believe in our mission. No, we're not selling our company. He said, no problem. Thank you for your time and consideration. Amazon starts a revolutionary idea to get products same day, and they call it Amazon Prime. That's why they started Amazon Prime.
Well, two-day shipping at that point.
That's why they started Amazon Prime. What they do is they look at the prices of diapers.com and they cut their prices 30% lower. So they said we have cheaper diapers and you can get it 2 times faster.
Mm-hmm.
Who's gonna say no to that? They lost $100 million a month in diapers.
Yeah, Amazon. Yeah, intense. Like, look, we're gonna lose this.
Amazon lost $100 million a month by just doing just that. They lost $100 million a month.
Depending on the scale. Though the 11th and 9th are often voiced selectively to avoid too much clutter.
For sale.
What?
They fired all their employees, everything, and then Amazon came back.
Yeah, you want that offer again?
Took the company damn near for nothing. No, here's what happened. Diaper.com goes belly up.
They bought it.
They bought the company. The first thing that they do when they buy the company, they dismantle the company and they fire everybody.
We got the diapers already. We got the e-commerce. That's going great for us. Look, we lost money on it for so long, but guess what? How you gonna get diapers going forward, right? Convenience and efficiency is going to be the way. Even then, this is like early 2000s, but e-commerce, you can see that the world wants conveniency and efficiency, right? So if I don't have to go to a store, if I can order something and it can be delivered to my house in an expeditious time, I'm doing it. Especially something like diapers. If you have a kid, if people are having children, they're gonna need that, right? So look at the business. All right, I'm willing to, in the short term, lose money. I have so many different verticals to make money that I can withstand this loss. But I know over the long term, they won't be a competitor anymore. And that's exactly what happened. You're not a competitor anymore. But I think this will be different.
But that's the same thing.
I don't think he's going to.
Sometimes they'll bleed you out. Like these people lost money in the stock market as well.
Exactly.
As everybody was losing money in the stock market.
I don't think it's
who can withstand? Who has the endurance to still be here at the end of the race? So it's like, look, you losing money in the stock market, we're losing money in the stock market, everybody's losing money in the stock market. But we know we can withstand this storm.
These extra notes.
How long can you withstand the storm? They let them out and they took his portfolio. Essentially the same thing what happened with diapers.com and Amazon. And to this day, when you go on Amazon and you get your 1 day, 2 day packages from Amazon Prime, you never even thought about where Amazon Prime came from. Now you know. Poor diapers.com. They lost their business and every single employee got fired.
Yo, it's a dirty game. It's really a dirty game.
Business. There's no emotions in business.
I'm just thinking to myself, imagine we had a hedge fund and we show up and we tell our clients, look, we got to liquidate, you know, we lost 30 billion. You think we raising capital same day?
They talking about $250 for an InvestFest ticket. Let alone talking about 200.
Man, the privilege to say, look, I lost that, but look, we raising funds again. We're gonna go back at this. We're gonna go back at this.
Oh, let's talk about since we're talking about InvestFest. Let's talk about InvestFest. You know what's so crazy? Sidebar, because you know, it definitely when people talk about the price of InvestFest, man, I'm just like, yo. The amount of billionaires that we bring 3 days, but I just want to give people the Milken Conference. If you never heard of it, very prestigious conference, business conference. You know, guess how much a standard pass, general admission. Guess how much general admission costs to the Milken Conference? You don't believe me? ChatGPT it. How much do you think a standard pass
50
to the Milken Conference?
40 to 50.
I know the answer. Because that was one of those things. They were like, oh, you should attend if you're in business. If you're in that space, you should go. I'm like, oh, okay. Let me look into that.
How much does a standard pass? General admission, by the way. General admission. Somebody said 10K. A general admission standard pass costs $25,000 to $30,000. Okay.
That's per day.
Davos. How much do you think it costs to be an attendee at Davos? $30,000 general admission.
Well,
by the way.
and you have to be invited to even spend that.
General admission.
You have to be invited. So when
Even Greg Cardone was running up and back.
Yeah.
His 10X conference general admission was $997. He was charging $1,000 for general admission for 10X conference. And the crazy thing is, they had an application fee for Logan. I believe it was Logan. You got to apply $500 to apply.
To go.
It's actually an application fee of $500.
everybody just can't go, right? You got to apply, they got to accept you, and then you got to pay. That's why I said even Davos, when we were there, it was an invite. So it's not like, hey, I got 60,000, I'm going. Not how many people have that as a luxury, but also to have the invite. So you have to know the people to know the people to be invited. So when we're there two years in a row, and people are like, well, what are they doing there? Bro, like we're trying to see what they're saying because the people here are making the decisions for the world. The people just kind of get things misconstrued, like we're just showing up in places. No, we've been invited to do art and journalistic duties to report back to y'all. But, you know.
So, like I said, when you see InvestFest for $250, it's kind of tough. I don't know. I don't even know what to say after a while, man. You gotta really have a perspective of the world to fully be educated, because it's one thing to be educated, that's okay. It's another thing to be ignorantly boastful with your lack of education. You're not educated and you just ignorantly boastful.
Loud and wrong.
Oh, this is a ripoff. This is a scam. This is like they pocketing the money. Pocketing $300. It's not gonna go too far in this world. I'll tell you that much. But we're staying positive.
Yes. I got a message. Keep them positive, Troy.
Happy
I'm trying my
InvestFest
best.
week. Let me just do a quick rundown.
Please, let the people
We
know.
have after party on Saturday. Sunday sold out. After party on Saturday. You can buy general admission tickets to come to the party, or you can get a table. You can go to investfest.com. There's an after party tab for that. The Locks event is sold out already.
Yes.
VIP night Friday. You will be getting an email. You should have gotten it. You're getting an email this week as far as location, time, and all of that is black tie. Please don't play yourself. Authors Corner, we're gonna be in the vendor marketplace on Friday signing books, and there'll be authors throughout the whole entire week signing books. Singles Lounge, you will begin an email tomorrow about the Singles Lounge information. Vendor marketplace, show up and show out. Thursday, it's registration starts at Thursday at 12 o'clock, 12 to 6. If you live in the greater Atlanta region, or if you're there, try to get there early, because there will be over 30,000 people this year. I'll just leave it at that.
Yep.
So please get there early, please. Man, Friday, we got Equity Now, we got BlackRock, we got American Partners, we got Invesco, we got Miss Business, we got my dad, we got Charles Schwab, we got Wealth Academy, we got Sweda Pro, we got Vanessa Cole, we got High Risk World. They're all doing workshops. There's 3 places where people will receive education on Friday. Podcast Stage, which is inside the vendor marketplace. EYL University Stage. And there's a new place that we borrow. That is on the 2nd floor.
Yeah. So right up once if you're walking in,
escalator.
if you're walking in from Insignia, you go up the escalator once. If you're coming down from where the stage level is, you're gonna go up the escalator twice. There'll be plenty of signage that and people directing you.
Yeah, so that's new. We haven't done that before, but we wanted a bigger room than we had last year. So the other room will be up the escalator. The Run-Up Show is on the app. Download the InvestFest app in the App Store. The Runner Show is on the app. I think that's it.
Yeah, we're excited. We got the kids on Thursday as well.
Oh yeah, Thursday, the kids InvestFest all day Thursday. Like I said, the Locks event on Thursday. Please. Registration is from 12 to 6 o'clock on Thursday. You get your badge, you good for the weekend, you good. Once you get your badge, everything you good. If you can't come Thursday, come Friday. Get your badge, and it starts on Friday. Workshops all day Friday, panels all day Friday. Strictly education. Like I said, those companies that I just named. Vendor marketplace all day Friday. Food trucks all day Friday. And then and then we go into Saturday, then we go into Sunday.
Yeah.
Ian Dunlap will be speaking on Sunday.
Yes.
Serena Williams will be speaking on Sunday. Pitch competition will be happening on Sunday.
Yep.
Mike Novogratz, billionaire, will be speaking on Sunday. Yaki Awaken will be speaking on Sunday.
That's gonna be powerful.
19 Keys will be giving his solo on Sunday. Stay around for the weekend.
Yeah.
Sunday is
the big
action packed.
I'm
super.
I'm excited
Sunday.
for all of those things. I can't wait to get to the vendor marketplace. I love talking to the people who have come for the first time, the vendors who are there for the first time, because I'll be honest with you, the first time you see that many people, it becomes very overwhelming. But just talking them through it and then finding people who can help them and guide them through it. So we got some vets. Shout out to all the vets who come with their bands every year, showing that they, this is their 6th year. We're gonna count on y'all to help our newcomers and guide them through it to make this a beautiful experience for everybody, man. I'm looking forward to meeting and greeting and taking as many pictures and smiling and signing. But whatever we got to do for the people, man. This is gonna be a big year, and we're looking forward to it. Oh, and real quick, shout out to all my people that are thinking about our health in advance. If you are sick, fist in the air is cool. If your palms are sweaty, I appreciate all the sweaty palm people. I love y'all. Y'all know you're my people. This bump is good. Just give me the heads up and I know. We want to make sure that everybody is healthy and enjoys the weekend and fully engaged because, everything is functioning correctly.
Yeah, we tapped in. So, yeah, we will be signing a book on Friday. Also, we want everybody to come. Whoever can come, there's still tickets available. But if you cannot make it, virtual tickets are for sale now.
Yeah.
You go to investfest.com. The virtual option is open. Virtual option is open.
Shit.
Right now, virtual option is open. So, man, it's gonna be a historic moment. Again, we got some things planned for you guys, man. Over deliver per usual. 30,000. That's the number that we aiming for. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yo, if you got good stuff inside of the vendor marketplace, let me know. I'll be walking the vendor marketplace. I'm spending money. I'm spending Bitcoin. I'm spending dollars. I'm Cash App. I'm doing all of the above.
Yeah.
So if you got some fire, and the last thing I'll say is if you're a content creator or if you're a vendor, collaborate with Earn Your Leisure and InvestFest page, but it got to be fire though. We can't accept everything. Like if you making some dope content throughout the weekend, collab. We're gonna try to accept as many collabs as possible so we can help you grow your brand, so we can give you visibility on what you got going on. But be creative, make it dope so it gets engagement. But man, it's open source. This whole weekend is gonna be open source. It's gonna be a lot of money that's being spent with the vendors. It's gonna be a bunch of content creators out there, people doing interviews. It's just gonna be, that's what it's about. So don't be shy with your content. We want to see all the content.
Yeah. I told you, I'm trying to end up in the people folder in your iPhone. Some of the people I've taken pictures with every year, and now I'm a person. Like when you go to your photos and you go to people, like I'm in their people. So I'm just trying to be in more people's phones. So let's take a picture, let's chat, let's do all the things, let's network, let's build. That's what it's all about, man. It's the family reunion.
Let's get it. Okay. SEC rules change. You want to talk about that? Or?
I think it's kind of like one that we would want to see. I know off the top, man. I think I don't know if they'll ever do it. There are a few people that are trying to. We need to figure out regulations on federal public officials that are investing in the stock market. We have to put some type of limitation or some type of disclosure agreement in place. Because, when you talk about conflict of interest, when you talk about alleged insider trading, when you talk about people that are making policy and also are investing in the companies that they know that the policies are going to benefit, how do we, as the everyday retail investor, hardworking person, like how can we compete with that? Right? Not only are they buying it, but they're shorting them too. So they're getting out of positions when they know contracts are ending or contract negotiations or they know lawsuits are coming.
So
it's just an unfair advantage
just that
this feels like it should be easy to figure out.
That's a fact. Well, monitor the situation. I believe if you get a virtual ticket, you can watch it later, right? Is that correct?
Yeah. Yep.
You
Yeah,
don't
absolutely.
You don't have to watch it in a moment. You can watch it later.
Yeah.
SMH versus Drum.
Ooh.
The,
Ooh.
the showdown that everybody
Ooh.
wants to know.
All right. Okay. Love them both. Love them both. If I had to invest in one or the other, I'm gonna go with SMH. Not because I don't love drum. I do love drum. I'm just the level of concentration that it has in one specific thing makes it a bit riskier. And you can see that right now, right? Like drum is down 32% from its highs. Even with the pullback that we saw in July, SMH is down 16%. Now both are in technically correction territory, but one has doubled in depreciation, right? So drum's down 32%, and like I said, SMH is down 60%. Why SMH? Because it's more diversified. Okay, SMH is a semiconductor ETF, so it could have Nvidia, it could have Broadcom, it could have AMD, it could have Texas Instruments, it could also have Micron, which is in that memory sector. Whereas DRAM is very specific to the memory component inside of semiconductors. And so DRAM and SK Hynix lead that. Samsung and SK Hynix lead that. Micron's in there. Samsung's in there. That's specific for memory. Now, we always said, hey, look at the past, and it probably can, give us a good paint a clear picture for where the future is headed. I don't think this is the cyclical nature that they talked about in the 2000s, and we've gone into that detail. But I do think at some point, I don't know if it's in 2027, because I think we're sold out already for 27. May not happen in 28, but in maybe 29, 30, that CapEx spend, right, and the demand they'll start to even out. So supply is short, so obviously they increase prices. But at some point, as they build more factories and more fabs on, the demand supply will start to even out, and you'll start to see prices even out inside of the memory sector. I don't know if that's going to hold true for SMH and the semiconductors, because if it's not going to be Nvidia, right, it'll be another company. And SMH has, right, they manage it, and they actually allocate and reallocate funds to companies that are moving. They have the flexibility to do that, whereas DRAM is kind of isolated in the sense where it's specifically memory. Even now, like I looked inside of SMH. A month ago when we were talking about this, Micron was the number 4 holding. Today, it's at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the number 6 holding. You got Nvidia at 21% of the allocation, TSM at 9%, Broadcom at 6%, AMD at 5.6%. ASML is now past Micron inside of SMH. So they're reallocating. It had a rough July. Doesn't mean we don't believe in it. We still don't love it. It just had a rough July. It's pulled back to some real key numbers, metrics in terms of exponential moving average. And now it's number 6. I would assume as it starts to creep back up, it's in the 900s again, we'll start to see the allocation move up. That's what the flexibility of having a diversified ETF like SMH grants you.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I made a lot of money with SMH throughout the years. It's just long-term holds and even options, but just, really just piling money to SMH, especially when it was down. So SMH is more broad range. And you look at, the future. You have to believe in SMH for sure. DRAM as well, but DRAM is a lot more specific just for the memory space with DRAM. It's just for the memory space, but SMH is a safer bet for sure. But I mean, if all of this plays out correctly, they both should do well. But SMH is where I have way more money in SMH than I have in DRAM.
Yeah, DRAM. We kind of spoke about it early in April because of the amount that it would cost for people to get into Micron shares at the time when they were running up to $700, $800 a share, not eventually up to $1,300 a share. Saying it's the same thing, right? We talked about it last November when it was $190 a share, and it got up to $220, and it just kind of hasn't stopped that parabolic move up to $2,300. And so what would be a way for us to have some exposure to it? Well, here's this ETF that gives us some exposure. So that's kind of why we look at DRAM. It's like, how can we have exposure to the memory sector without paying the type of prices that are just so astronomical that it's tough to build a real foundation? Meaning, can I buy 5 shares? Can I buy 10 shares? Well, if I'm spending $2,300 per share, that becomes kind of a tough feat. So John, number one,
the 5 is diminished.
the affordability of
Fifth
it
to
was
the C
there,
chord.
but the affordability of the
I mean, the
actual
C minor, but
share of the ETF with
this
trading at
was-
27,
this
30,
is
and a
the-
lot of people in the 30,
this right here is a
36 range.
diminished.
So,
The 5,
but that's why
the
we kind of
5
have that exposure.
it's
It'll
not a
be here for a
perfect
while.
fifth,
I don't
it's a
think John's going
diminished
anywhere for the
this
near
is
future.
also
So,
the 7,
yeah, long-term SMH though.
Shout out to Edwin,
9, 11.
real one.
The legend,
Shout out to Ken,
legend. Spoke to him today.
Detroit.
Yeah, spoke to him today.
Man, shout out to everybody that's been showing love from the beginning. Still here, man. Salute. Salute. Appreciate you all. Okay.
What we got?
Let's talk. We will be answering questions from the audience at some point, but let's talk about the most underrated stock.
Let me see if that applies to
All right.
back to C.
So my most underrated.
C minor.
Now it's crazy because they went
mean,
ridiculous over the past week, but I think Microsoft is still one of my most underrated stocks. I think people don't really understand
C sharp major. All right. Yeah, C sharp minor.
the sources of revenue that they have, the infrastructure that they have, how well the companies run,
The only thing that changed right there
the
is
management that's running the company, the CEO's phenomenal. Yes, it has been beaten up, and we covered it. You know, it's traded kind of sideways for 2 years, and now it's having a decent moment. But I still think the fact that they have the Copilot right now, we're talking about enterprise software
Yeah.
that
So,
leaves the
and
door
only
open
thing
for
that changed then
enterprise
is the 7th
agents.
is down ahead.
The fact that the cloud
from
business
the
is
major
growing.
chord.
They're showing that we can have a capex that is pretty high,
And
but we're
really
spending
this,
it because
dropping
the
this 7,
expected
this
revenue in
7
the
chord
future
down one
is
half
going to
step
be
makes it.
exponential.
The left
And so,
hand,
looking at the level that it's at, like I said, it's had a 1%
B,
move over the year. I still think there's so much
major.
growth. I still think it's being underestimated.
so C
It's kind of
sharp,
unfairly been put in the software category.
C sharp
We're
minor,
seeing a breakout now, but I think the run
and B
is
sharp major.
it's
So
primed
what if you
for
just
a
grab
nice
the
run
7th
to the end of the year. It would
and
be
then do a
one of my
major?
most underrated because of the position that it has in terms of market cap, all the things that it has going in its favor, the momentum that it's carrying right now.
The mental shortcut
I
that I was
think would be
initially
in
going
my
for.
top two
Doesn't apply
for sure.
here. It just
Well, who do you
dropped
guys
down
think is the most
a half,
underrated
but
stock? Put in chat.
It also is
Who do
still
you think is the most underrated stock
the
that
measure
nobody's
chord
really
of-
talking about or people are not really paying too much attention to right now? Let me see what the audience has to say about this.
Oh yeah, let's run it.
Somebody says block.
Okay.
Scale.
Block
Look at
is
scale.
a sleeper.
Let me see,
Yeah.
so-
I was in a chat today and they were talking about SoFi.
Now, service now.
Well, hold on. Let's talk about service now. We do that. So, and shout out to my brother Ian. We went back and forth a few months ago about service now. And when I looked at the fundamentals, I'm always looking for pullbacks. So the first thing I'm looking for, where is this stock headed?
So
Where
let me
was
see,
its
we go
all-time
from
high?
C.
And if we look at it, I mean,
and you
the,
go
the
from
rundown
7.
has been equally as hyperbolic. We got under its 400 day, it's been under its 200 day, and then you start to figure out what is the story really telling, right? Like we went over that 5-layer cake. We talked about the models, we talked about infrastructure. But at the top, we talked about applications. And so if we have the energy, we have the infrastructure, if we're building the models, who and the applications, who's going to benefit?
All right, now
And
go
from an
major.
enterprise standpoint, ServiceNow is at the forefront of it. So shout out to everybody in EYLU when we put a case study on ServiceNow. The next week, Jensen gets on stage at GTC and says, "Look, I don't know what everybody's thinking, but if we're talking about enterprise software, ServiceNow is going to lead the future." All right, validating moment. Now you look at the past few weeks, software, and I feel like software and hardware have been going back and forth. Either you're having a positive day in the software companies, the Workdays, the ServiceNows, Microsoft was in that at that point. Even Oracle, to a certain extent, Salesforce has had, just terrible runs, but they've had some decent days. And then when they're appreciated, and you see the Microns and the SanDisk pull down, and when those don't, it was kind of going back and forth until ServiceNow is now part of the software story. So why, again, the Microsoft piece is so important is because they're saying, look, we're starting to show you revenue. Here's revenue. I know everybody's worried about the CapEx spend. Everybody's talking about the circular economy. Here's revenue. So much so that, and we'll talk about the next company, Amazon, their earnings report gets tied into that. So ServiceNow, again,
Yeah,
fundamentally,
so this is diminished.
McDermott is a really solid CEO in
On the
terms
major
of application
on the
and
major
AI.
chord,
They're going to be at the forefront when it comes to
putting on the
enterprise.
7th, and then it
I'm glad somebody said that. That would be a definite sleeper. We've been talking about it. Definitely, if it's not on your watch list, put it there. It will be here.
Start
the Godfather has spoken.
On the 7th
out to Jensen.
Of that core.
Who you got? You got anything? You got one?
I want to see what everybody's talking about. I want to see what they're talking about. Somebody said Walmart, Nokia.
Oh, somebody put Generac in the chat.
Meta, ARM.
ARM is we covered ARM. Lam Research. If you don't have that, KCLA. All these stories that are happening. I mean, there's so many companies. It's like, do we want to just keep them on our watch list? Do we want to add them to our portfolio?
Bitcoin.
The 3rd and the 7th.
Oakland's a good one. I see that when we're talking about energy. CEG. So that was one of those things I couldn't figure out which energy company. I told you my favorite was GEV. Obviously, Caterpillar was in there, and so I was like, let me just find the ETF that has a bunch of them. And so I did the XLU utilities because those were inside there. But there are some other great ETFs that have
XLU
utilities in them. Yeah, I mean, we got them. We got Hood, Palo Alto. Visa's a good one. Visa's a really good one. Roblox got beat up. Troy does not believe in Bitcoin. Why y'all say that? I believe in it. I believe in it. I believe in it. Should we talk about the other ones? The Aristas of the world, Vertiv. I mean, we've covered them. I feel like those have been the sleepers that we've been talking about, and the fact that the market is now caught up to them, it's like, oh, they understand the story. Vertiv was in that category. Celestica was in that category. Fortinet was in that category. Momentum, Coherent, all those are in and they pulled back to some really, really solid levels. And that story's going to get played out. We talked about how photonics is going to be a thing of the future and of the near future. Those companies have gotten to some really nice levels.
Okay, let's talk about InvestFest. What's your favorite moment that you're looking forward to? I'll say this. If you guys, you'll be doing yourself a tremendous disservice if you don't see John Morgan speak. The panel that he's on is right before lunch on Saturday. John Morgan is Tashonda Duckett, and it's Louis Carr. Tashonda Brown Duckett is the only black woman that's a CEO of a Fortune 100 company. John Morgan is a billionaire. He's the richest lawyer in America. And Louis Carr is the president of BET. And Romaine Bostick is doing that.
Shout out to Romaine.
He's the anchor at
Bloomberg.
Man,
Romaine doing it. Yeah, that's hard.
Doing yourself a tremendous disservice if you don't watch that conversation.
I'm talking about for real.
Happen. And John Morgan went viral. Spiritual Word just posted him yesterday. Like, shout out to Sean, Spiritual Word. That guy's a genius. That guy's a genius. And to have that level of access to a real billionaire in real life, man, I think you're doing yourself a tremendous disservice. 7 Stream, shout out to my boy Derek Falcon.
Yeah, Falcon.
He's gonna be interviewed by Jim Jones. It's called The Hustler's Ambition. That's on Sunday. That's gonna be one of them ones. We got a 9-to-5 entrepreneurship panel. For everybody that's working a 9-to-5, trying to figure it out, these are people that actually did it in real life and became millionaires in entrepreneurship. Man, Ian Dunlap gonna touch that stage. Serious.
I'm looking at all the joints.
Serena Williams, the great legend, Serena Williams, 23 Grand Slams, 16 unicorns, arguably the greatest female athlete ever, greatest tennis player ever. GOAT. People use the word GOAT very loosely these days, but she's actually the GOAT, literally. Man, Julian Brown,
I was gonna say that. I'm looking forward to that.
He's gonna do what he does.
Put Julian.
Yaki Awaken.
Yeah, you're gonna take him on.
Hey, this shit gonna be legendary, bro. This investment gonna be legendary.
High level conversation.
We know that. That delivers every year.
With Van Lathan and Vic Mensa.
I was just gonna say I'm looking forward to Vic.
Vic Mensa gonna be there too, for sure.
I'm looking forward to seeing as well. Burner. We just kind of just like
Burner.
Dan Fleischman.
That's what I'm saying. Dan Fleischman. That conversation.
Fleischman.
We're talking about 9-figure businesses. Nicole is hosting that, who's just a brilliant person in the world of finance. Obviously in podcasting too. She's one of the top hosts to do it, man. Her show is incredible. We've been a guest on her show. Having her there is going to be dope. Ian, I'm sure, is going to put on a magnificent performance. I'm looking forward to my guy. Shout out to Just and Tunde. I talked to them today, man, and they're having a conversation about the new generation of music, man, which is dope. I'm definitely going to be in there for that. Miss Business is going to put on. She kicked off last year, which was incredible.
Joey Badass and Soraya.
I mean, there's so much going on that
about being a couple, and then all day Friday, the Black Rocks, the Fidelity, the you name it, the Invesco, QQQ Invesco had a diversify your 401k portfolio. Shout out to my boy Jarrell Dinkins. He's gonna touch that stage on Friday. Talk about the Airbnb game.
We are contractually obligated to say. Shout out to your pops, man. Come on, we going to that.
For sure.
I'm looking forward to that, man.
We got the preachers coming.
Yeah,
for
it's gonna be dope.
For the Christian entrepreneurs. We done touched every angle. We done got the Christian entrepreneurs. We done got the military veteran. We done got the African panel for the Pan-African.
Yeah.
We done touched everything you could possibly think of.
More to come.
What more can we do?
More to come.
What more can we do?
Go bigger, go bigger. That's how we playing it.
Amazon, the time has come.
Amazon
market rebound.
Yeah, man. Amazon, y'all know that's historically my favorite company, just because the amount of revenue streams that they bring. We talked about the dark side of business when we talked about diapers.com, but Amazon, man, that quarter was tremendous. They did 200 billion. Think about this.
200 bill?
Last quarter, they did 200 billion in revenue.
Yeah, I think I seen it. Them folks.
There's companies that aren't even working.
When I seen that, I said, damn.
A lot of companies aren't working.
Almost
they
at a
did
tree
200 billion in revenue. Earnings per share was a huge beat. $5.75. The estimate was $1.82. They were at $5.75. AWS. Now this is important, and that's why I said the Microsoft piece is important. When I was sitting there waiting for Amazon to report, I knew that the market was thinking, where is the CapEx spend going? Because if we look at historically, who was the biggest spender in terms of CapEx? It has been Amazon. They make no secret about it, right? Shout out to Jassy. They went from spending 150 billion to 170 billion to now saying that they're going to spend 205 to 215 billion on CapEx by the end of the year, which is a large increase. However, and this is why it's important to listen to.
But then they making it back in a quarter.
When we listen to Microsoft and we watch them say, "Hey, we're seeing an uptick in the demand for cloud service," I said, "Okay, cool. What did I hear the week before when Google reported?" Now, we talked about them having a negative cap spend. I'm like, okay, what did grow? Oh, the cloud business grew again. So Google Cloud grew. That's the number 3 provider. Microsoft Azure, they grew, the number 2 provider. In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, if number 2 grew in cloud business, number 3 grew in cloud business, what is number 1 potentially going to do? And just as I suspected, their cloud business grew again. So AWS grew to 42 billion in this quarter. They estimated it at 40. And so now you're starting to see the momentum change a little bit. I know for those who've been in Amazon, it has been a long journey, and it has been a really, really disciplined journey. If you've ever owned the stock, if you ever traded calls on it, it's a love-hate relationship. And so I decided that I'm not going to have the love-hate relationship. I'm just going to own shares. But we're starting to see a shift, right? That shift of, hey, it isn't just CapEx spend anymore.
Nope.
We're starting to see a return on that investment. Remember we talked about the house and the construction company? Well, now that house is starting to come to fruition, and they're starting to make money as they're building. And so that was a bright spot. We've seen it get to its all-time high. It hit $3 trillion for the first time. It's a $3 trillion market cap. Incredible. Amazon is not done, because as the CapEx spend continues to go up and they continue to show that they're going to have more revenue, we're going to see some more really strong quarters for them.
AMD. AMD is another one that people have a lot of questions about. This show today, we're just So that's why today we're just trying to just go over
I don't know why
individual
this
stocks as much as we
fucking
possibly can. You guys can have some reassurance on your plans going into the fourth quarter. So I know AMD is a stock that a lot of people make money on. So AMD.
Somebody said, Troy, do you have a pool? AMD, man.
was it another? I had another
Warriors, man. Put a fire in the chat.
like cord for that one because I don't know why this USB-C not charging this fucking LED light.
Shout out to Lisa Su and the entire leadership team. They have really turned this company around. In fact, you know, they really stay stern on their vision for the company, right? When people were doubting it, they said, hey, you know, GPUs, NVIDIA owns it. They're like, okay, well, we're going to create something very different. And so my expectations for AMD is I think they're going to have another solid quarter. I think they'll be across the metrics. The key thing that I'll be looking for is what does the GPU revenue, we know the market share is owned by NVIDIA. They were at like 12%. It got down to 10%. At its peak, it's been like a 14% market share of the GPU market. I want to see what that looks like. But I also want to see what the CPU market looks like. Right. At a time when Intel was kind of asleep at the wheel, AMD came in and swept in and took the CPU market. Intel is obviously now, you know, partnering with the government in terms of manufacturing and putting out CPUs. So they're back in the fold. We're gonna get some more details on the M1350 chip that they put out, but I think this is an important piece. I want y'all to write this down. Helios, Helios. This is a game changer for them. This is a new product for them in terms of AMD. This is not just a GPU anymore. This is a stack, an AI stack. So they're not just saying, hey, we're selling you GPUs. They're actually selling stacks.
All right.
This is the name of it. So we'll see, number one, what the demand looks like for that.
Right.
Number two, how fast is that product going to get out to the public? So we got to look for that. And then we'll look at the hyperscaler commitments. We saw hyperscalers partner. We talked about NVIDIA.
Chips.
About Samsung. Who's
Right.
AMD going to partner
Stacked
with now? We already saw that OpenAI was one of their partners. Are they going to be added to that? All these things are key things that we're going to be looking for. I think they beat. I think depending on what the future guidance is for this, and all those measures we just named, we'll see an uptick. I know right before you usually see like, hey, options market was predicting a 6% move, either negative or positive. I think it'll probably fall somewhere in that range. I like AMD here. I like it long term. It's one of my foundational pieces, meaning that I got over 500 shares of it. Obviously, we got some calls. So I'm looking forward to that one.
That's
That
at
helps
500.
the story for some
Damn.
people. So that would be a big one on Tuesday, and that'll lead to the ones on Wednesday when we talk about
500 shares, but that's a good.
Shout out to AMD, shout out to Dave Shands. I forgot to put him. Steve Harvey and Nick Cannon.
Yeah.
Man, that's generational comedy. That's generational empires. Nick Cannon, one of the illest to ever do it, man.
For sure.
His empire that he built with Wild 'N Out says billion. That's actually valued at $1 billion. The Wild 'N Out empire is crazy. And then all of the things that he's done. America's Got Talent. From the movies to the comic series, you know, 85 South, they kind of come from under his tree.
Mm-hmm.
Kehlani was actually sleeping on his couch. He like Kehlani's like early manager. Like
He allowed her to come live with him, use his studio. That's not the only thing though. I knew the Kehlani story. I didn't know the her story. So Nick Cannon was pivotal in getting her to become what she is inside of the music industry. They were actually in the same group. It was Kehlani and her in the same group when they were younger. But Nick Cannon had them, allowed them to use equipment, allowed them to understand music, told them about the business. And you have two of the most like dynamic talents for this generation for sure, like Kehlani and her. Love them both. But Nick played
SpaceX, AMD, Caterpillar. Heard of them. I heard of them. Ain't too familiar.
It's him and
I reached the
Steve Harvey
network.
together, hosted by Terrence J. So that's gonna be
Blue
hilarious.
Kings, Spotify, Duke Energy,
Oh, the math.
and somebody else, NRG.
Yeah, for sure.
It might be another day. Them might be like
Thursday.
Thursday.
He made a lot of money. They can't make a lot of money on these shows.
Marathon,
Steve Harvey, obviously,
Cummins,
the empire he's built. So
there's Energy. Probably need to check them out
that's
too.
gonna be that's the keynote.
What's the other
for sure.
energy one that I just
Saturday,
passed? Oh,
that's
maybe
the keynote
Caterpillar I was
on
thinking of.
Saturday.
Yeah, Jello said, should I exercise my 375 Microsoft call to get shares, or will it see another pullback. No, you're not exercising at that number. When you're talking about exercising contracts, you want to talk about large gaps in strike price to current value. So an example would be if Microsoft is trading at 484, if you had calls that were like $40, $50, somewhere that the range is so wide that you can't see it
drug
that
manufacturing
strike price, then you might want to entertain. 375 is not a number, right? Because now you got to have 100 shares at that price. So think about the math on that, right? So I wouldn't do that. I would not recommend that. If you're up and you're in profit, you made your 100%, take the initial out, see how many contracts you got, you let it run, depending on the expiration date. But I'm not exercising at those numbers. Good question.
Shout out to the city of Atlanta.
Astera Labs.
A lot of controversy.
Keep it positive.
But,
Cisco.
you know,
NRG. There we go.
Diplomacy has been working behind the scenes.
Yes.
We are diplomats at the end of the day.
Yes. Despite what you hear,
A distinguished gentleman.
and despite some of the things that have been posted on social media, we are in a good space. We have had some conversations, and we will remain diplomatic. We love the city, and that's evident. And we're gonna show the city how much we love.
Yeah, you know, it's a lot of diplomacy. It's a lot of diplomacy. I'm sure you'll see some positive things happen.
Yeah. It's only fitting.
It's only right.
It's only fitting.
It's only right. Only right.
Only fitting.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Yes, sir. Are you not entertained? Only entertained. Only entertained.
Nah. At least Tuesday, Ian. At least Tuesday. At least Tuesday.
What do you say? I don't know what it is. It's provocative.
Gets the people going.
Gets the people going. Yeah. What a press run.
They said, can they get an option play?
What a press run. Option play?
They want one that I'm doing now. What have I done lately? I'll check. Let me look at the portfolio and then I'll get you something before the end of the night. Nah. Maybe. I'll tell you what I'm looking at. How's that? I'll tell you what I'm looking at. That's fair? That's fair.
Ian is out tonight. You know, he had a lot going on because he's preparing. He's in the Batcave preparing for his best fest. Had a birthday, so you know we holding it down for him in his absence, but he's here in spirit. The band is not in danger of breaking up. Please don't make your think pieces affiliate. They're affiliate. I don't want to see a 12-minute YouTube video about the internal wars between EYL and Ian Dunlap.
This is
The band will be back together next week. The band will be back together this week, actually.
Yeah.
So never play yourself. Never play yourself. Fed versus earnings. Fed versus earnings. And this earnings thing is, once again, this is why I say I don't like playing short-term options or trades or a variety of different things with earnings, because what we've seen, and we saw this happen with NVIDIA, and we saw this happen with Micron, and we saw this happen with a variety of different companies where they blow out their earnings. In Micron's case, arguably one of the best earnings reports ever in history.
Okay.
And then goes down 35% in the next month. So it's like the earnings, Wall Street has become so much casino in a sense.
Speculative for sure.
These people are taking the stock on purpose. It has nothing to do with the earnings. It has nothing to do with how good the company has performed, future guidance, none of that.
Yeah.
So when you play those short-term earnings calls, you put yourself in danger of losing a lot of money because you're thinking, okay, if they got a great earnings call, the stock is going to go up. No, not necessarily. And then the one time where you say, okay, I'm going to bet against the stock, then the stock goes up. So you're essentially a gambler. That's my opinion. If you play earnings, it's no different than going to Las Vegas and just putting your money on black and red at this point in time. Like, you just gamble.
What if you got leverage?
Leverage for what?
I mean, you got a foundational position in your company.
Still gamble. It's like, all right, you could do a small gamble, you could do a big gamble. A gamble's still a gamble.
I don't know if it's a gamble. I'm saying this. I'm saying it's not a gamble in the sense that is it more predictive? Maybe. Are you assuming based on actual data?
Hello?
Yeah. Can you predict what the
What's up?
market's reaction is going to be? That part you can't. Now, I'm not saying
What's
you
up?
do day option trades. No, you shouldn't be doing that. Maybe you shouldn't even do weekly. I would just
I'm not. Bye. You're annoying me.
shares.
You're annoying me already. I told you I'm not going. You keep asking me that. I'm gonna stop liking you even more and more.
You should not be doing weekly calls if you don't own shares. If you
Alright.
don't have a foundation, that you should not be participating. What I'm saying is like you have leverage in terms of like we have 1,000 of these shares. We have a December 28 call. We have a December 27 call. We have a December 26 call. We've actually stacked it. If you're doing this, and this obviously you want to play it out. So like, let's say Nvidia reported Wednesday. Are you making a call Friday? No. But would you do one till September, based on the catalyst events? Because those catalyst events are important. And here's how we know.
So let me ask you a question.
No, let me just finish this example. When we did the mastermind in DC.
Stop it.
So this is a prime example. Microsoft was going to have an earnings call, and we priced that in. We said, look, we're going to give it 2 cycles. We're going to have 2 earnings cycles for it to either show improve or not, and then we can see if we're going to go out even further. Well, we started out further. We already have the shares. First earnings cycle, we saw what happened to Microsoft. This earnings cycle, rebound for Microsoft. 400 call was down probably 50%, right? Got down to 356 on the equity itself.
Oh shit.
Now we see it up at 484.
For the
That life cycle, we've invested in it, but we put in some catalyst events that we know are going to happen. I'll give another example of Sandus, like this week. Sandus had 2
I ain't even got
in
the-
next 10 days.
yeah, I ain't gonna
So,
stunt. I haven't
Sandus for sure. Out to January 28th. Y'all seen the portfolio. You already know. We got September of this year. We got December of this year. What are the 2 catalyst events? We have earnings on Wednesday, but then we have Investor Day on the 13th.
It don't look like it's like as
It's 2
many
catalyst
notes.
events. So somebody's looking at this and they're saying, I can't afford it. I mean, these premiums aren't cheap.
There's only like 4 notes right there.
Pick some of these catalyst
I barely
events
can
in
see it, huh?
when you're doing that. So that's why I say it's not again. There
It's
are
like 4 notes.
characteristics, yes. If
On
somebody's
the
doing it
guitar.
already, for
That
sure.
was 5.
But
Shout out to PJ Kev
So that was 5.
on the check.
Wow. Yo, Kev, I love you, bro. The CBOE knows this now, which is interesting. So now I can buy an expiration date for the 5th. I can buy an expiration date for the 7th. It's like it's crazy. Like they're having 2 days calls now. Yeah.
If you are investing or trading a stock in the short term for the anticipation that it may go up or it may not go up, how is that not gambling? Because like I said, it's not based on any logic, fundamentals, fundamental analysis, technical. If it's not based on if it's not based on fundamental analysis, and it's not based on technical analysis, and it's strictly based on speculation. That's what these earning reports have turned into.
Some of them.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
Speculation.
Mhm.
They've taken technical analysis.
Mhm.
Because if technical analysis and fundamental analysis meant anything, we wouldn't have seen what happened.
Well, there was some underlying themes, right?
I mean, but this even before that. So if you take away technical analysis and you take away fundamental analysis, and what you have left is speculation, by definition, that's actually.
But we're not taking. But that would say that we're discounting technical analysis, but we're not, right?
But
But
I'm saying the market.
the
The
market.
market.
Yeah, but there's underlying themes here. So prior to that moment, right? You could probably put up a scale and look when he decided to short these companies. I remember the date because one thing about the Bluegill dude, he was going viral on social media, which brought even more attention for him. And so when he decided that he was going to short these companies, this is like mid-June. And so if you look from mid-June, let's
Who?
say the 12th to the 25th,
Who was short
you
him?
watch Micron hit its all-time high, Sanders hit its all-time high, even Nvidia was in its near highs. From that moment when he decided that he's going to short these companies, and all the guys up there watching, everything's changed, right? The strong companies that were oversold, we saw them bounce back up that day that he had to liquidate his positions. Why? Because those are strong companies, and they might have gotten to the oversold position. Like, why? What is it? So So we can't say that with discount. I wouldn't discount technicals if I'm doing that. I'm looking at it like, all right, well, did it hit this 100-day on a daily? Did it hit it 72? What did it do after? Did it retrace? Did it get down to its 200? So I'm watching all those things, all that momentum leading into it. I would assume you're saying that most people are not doing that.
It's not even that most people are not doing it. What I'm saying is that the technical analysis, the fundamental analysis don't matter when a company like Micron has the best earnings report in history and they go down 35%. Wall Street is dictating the prices of stocks in the short term. So it can be all of the checkpoints on technical, all of the checkpoints on the fundamental analysis, and then go down 15%. Just because Wall Street wants it to go down.
Pricing for institutional investment.
Yeah, exactly.
But it didn't go right down. It got to its all-time high, and obviously it's unlikely. The key metric will be, can it get back to near its all-time highs, which I think it will. Yeah. So the Fed made a decision last week. This happened. A lot happened this week. That was Wednesday, and people got this. I mean, that hurt the market too, right? Like he knows that inflation is running hot. He knows that he has to raise rates. He decided to pause. A lot of people didn't do that. We're trying to figure out how long September is going to be running. It's going to be twice. Because how are we going to fight inflation? Right? Most Fed chairs listen to analysts about what is he doing? Why didn't he just get it out the way now? Like raise it now.
Like you say right here.
Let's raise rates.
The 13th make it kind of just sound cluttered.
Let's see if we have to do it again. And so now it's almost like they're delaying the inevitable. And so we saw the market pull back.
Those at 11th and 9th are often voiced selectively to avoid too much clutter. Voiced selectively. So let me see, like, if you're doing inversions,
have a nice day today as well. Even though they got destroyed, they dropped like $56 after they reported.
it's an octave above the second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
The 11th is
So Meta,
above the
real quick,
fourth.
just saying this because Meta's important. When you look at
And
the revenue sources,
The 13th
if
is
they
above
don't
the
make the
6th.
money
Voicing to
advertising,
on piano or guitar, you can drop this
98%.
5th
Where else
or
is it
9th.
for revenue?
I mean,
Which is
5th.
why you saw Microsoft,
G.
which has different sources of revenue,
Drop the
spike.
5th.
And
Or the
then,
root.
Trail. I think they
Your hand
they
cannot
put out
reach
the
all of the
prices,
notes because the
they
extensions
lost $4 billion in sales in the
and the
glasses.
3rd and 7th carry the primary
Seven,
harmonic
Labs.
flavor.
So I think Meta's going to be okay because of the imprint of 3.2 billion users, and they'll figure out a way to, use
To
AI
voice
to a more
these
efficient
extensions.
standpoint. Where, like, obviously you're using it. People made the argument. I was watching a couple shows that they've made the most addictive product that humankind has ever seen. An algorithm that keeps feeding you and keeps feeding you and brings you back and keeps feeding you. Most people, when they wake up, they look at their phone, they go on social media. Before they go to sleep, they check social media. People are just checking all times of day for no reason, just because of the addiction of it. They might have missed something.
Perhaps. Perhaps. Let's talk about, okay. Man. Midterm elections. It's going to have an impact on the stock market potentially for sure. And that's something
Rootless
that you really
choice.
think about because
So what style?
especially if the Democrats take control of the
The
House.
cheat code. Left hand plays C root.
Republicans
Right
are doing all
hand
types of games and gerrymandering to stop that from
plays
happening. But
a standard E.
there's going to be a disruption if the Democrats get back in power.
Play the E flat, major
Historically,
7th chord.
midterm years have been negative. This year we haven't got to that point.
E
This
flat
year.
major 7th.
It's still early. And even August, when we talk about months to invest in, August is not.
And that's the scary part. That's what I was talking about the other day.
Yeah.
The scary part is it can get
Open
worse.
voicing.
But is it bad now?
Oh, if you was holding Micron, Sanders, and all
Yeah.
these stuff, yeah, it's been very bad.
Yeah.
In
In terms of the overall, right? So context.
oh, shout out to you, shout out to the loser. I'm still up.
Oh, they made another one?
Nah, the MU. I just every now
Just
and
in
then
case? Just a
I gotta
reminder.
remind people that they losers because they might forget it.
Remember, we're gonna keep it positive.
You'll always be a loser.
We're gonna keep it positive. We're gonna stay in this positive lane. It's a new month. We're just gonna stay positive. The August has traditionally been a tricky month in terms of Nasdaq and S&P. And July had traditionally been a great one. Like I think it's the third or fourth best month to invest in. So we'll see. But the election, like you said, policy changers, people changing office, changing seats, that will have an impact. Why? Well, we're still in this AI infrastructure build out. What legislations will be passed because of it? I know, water has become an issue. Energy has become an issue. What type of, legislation will be put in? What type of laws will be passed? Who's going to be making those? All those things play a role.
Friendly reminder. Friendly reminder. I like that. Friendly reminder. Hey, loser.
Like, what y'all want me to do, man?
Friendly reminder. But y'all gotta stop saying that I supported Donald Trump. Don't put that on my jacket. I never supported Donald Trump. I never advocated for Donald Trump getting into office. I got extremely criticized and torn apart because I actually put on my page that I was in support of Kamala Harris. And we went and we met with her at her house. We had dinner with her.
You're absolutely right to pull out losers every month.
And we also went to the White House Christmas party for the vice president. I'm staying out of politics from now on until I do run for office because I'm probably going to run for governor of New York. I'm seriously considering it. I think that I could put together the coalition and raise enough money. I'm strongly considering that. Outside of that, I'm staying outside of I'm staying away from politics. But I see this all the time. You guys endorsed him. You guys, when you say you guys, I did not endorse Donald Trump. Please.
They say you guys, they include all that's like a comment into.
It's Market Mondays.
That's no trouble. Mom, that's not true. Mom, that's not true. I want your mom. It's not true.
Okay. Let's talk about Aliko Dangote. Personal
Expansion.
titan. He's a personal hero of mine when it comes to business.
Expansion.
The richest black person in the world. If you don't know who Aliko Dangote is, he's probably around $20-30 billion out of Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
And man, he changed the game so much with his refinery, oil refinery. And he's been fighting against the Nigerian government for some time now. They've been trying to give him a hard time. Go figure. But he's taking his company public. And I believe it was on the Nigerian stock market, but now he's taking to the London stock market.
Mm-hmm.
So this is major. This is big for Africa.
Huge.
This is big for energy independence. This is big for Nigeria. What do you think about Aliko Dangote's IPO on the London stock market?
I think Aliko Dangote is a name that should be celebrated. It should be bolstered across all social medias. I think it's somebody that our children should know. We should know. Because what he's doing, he is a resource. It's something that Nigeria has, and the fact that they had to export it out to get it refined, and then pay a fee to have it imported back to them, it just never made sense to him. And when you say it out loud, it doesn't make sense in general. And so to be able to create a refinery in Nigeria, based off his resources, right? You're talking about a guy who's done it in flour, he's done it in sugar, he's done it in cement. He has powerful friends in electricity, like all the things you need. He turned to his community of friends in the world of business, and now has made this a publicly traded company for Nigerians, and now going to the London stock market. People can actually have access and ownership into it. It says a lot. They have one, quote unquote, was at 30 million. The number is closer to 60 million, most people are saying, because of what this needs. So they go from like the number 9 or 10 exporter of oil to now one of the importer of oil to now one of the top 10 exporters of oil because of this refinery. It's a huge issue. It's been on it for, I feel like we did this in our first year. We were just talking about it in 2019. So we're 7, almost 8 years into this, and the refinery's up, and I can't wait to see it. I actually want to see it in person. Can't wait to speak to him, meet him in person, to shake his hand. He was one of the first people that I wrote about when I was teaching financial literacy 15 almost years ago. It's incredible. I think people don't even understand the magnitude of it. And so I'm glad that we get to highlight it and give him all the praise that he deserves, and all his entire team, all his daughters involved in it as well. He deserves it because that is something that can be replicated. But when I said they're making a change that's beyond you. He said this isn't about money. This isn't about him. This is about the future of this country, which is extremely honorable.
Aliko Dangote is actually Davido's godfather also. If you don't know, the singer, we interviewed Davido in Lagos, and Davido's father's a billionaire, and Davido's uncle is Aliko Dangote, his godfather. And Aliko Dangote's brother, he's up there too. But I gotta be careful with this political stuff because we do have to go back to Nigeria soon. So I don't want to offend any more politicians for sure. We don't need that.
No,
We definitely don't need to offend
no,
international politicians.
absolutely not.
But he's been having a fight with the government. Aliko Dangote's they've been
It's been a battle.
they've been at odds.
You could imagine people not wanting to see that happen from external forces, but he managed to still get it done.
Okay, well, shout out to Aliko Dangote. Much success. We look forward. We've been working on trying to meet Aliko Dangote for a very long time.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it'll happen when it's time to happen. But we look forward to sitting down with the brother, to looking at, to visiting his refinery,
Yeah.
and to really, see how we could help move the situation forward because it's important. Energy independence is the only way that Africa is going to move forward,
Mm-hmm.
and it's vitally important that Africa moves forward.
First step. Yeah.
So
So I know the initial offer in Nigeria, you had to be a citizen of like you had to be from a country in Africa. So I wonder.
that was in Nigeria.
Now that's what I'm saying in London. I wonder what the stipulations will be for that.
All right, Mike, you go back to the original list.
Thanks, Mike. I think you have Palantir up next, yeah?
Palantir, Death and Destruction.
All right. So Palantir actually reported as the market closed. So they beat on revenue, they beat on adjusted earnings per share. U.S. commercial revenue grew to $764 million, and the EBITDA grew as well. So a solid quarter for I did not read them, but he is a very interesting guy.
The E-Core, I like that one. That one with all of the voices.
At its all-time highs.
The
Last year,
extensions, all the
started to
extensions.
pull back
Good.
because of the high valuation. I think their multiple was 267x, something crazy. Got down, obviously, with the company pulling back down to 67, which is still pretty high. But it did beat on earnings. I think the most important thing that we saw is that the business structure has changed from them predominantly getting 50% of revenue from the government to now getting commercial enterprise to buy.
I was doing the wrong notes.
Software. So you think about all the
basically
businesses
stacking
that
them.
are using it, and you like that or not, but it has changed. So now the customers include banks, healthcare systems, energy companies, manufacturers, retailers, insurance companies, airlines, pharmaceutical firms. They have expanded their base of customers, which has helped change the revenue model, which is good because that is something that's scalable rather than saying, hey, we're going to be super reliant on the government. So that's good for them, and that's good for the AI story as well. Because again, we're talking about infrastructure, NVIDIA, GPUs, the memory, all that's part of it. What's the next layer? The applications, Palantir being an application, ServiceNow being an application. These will benefit. So great quarter for them. Let's see if they can keep that going, and maybe retest some of these all-time highs. Now the valuation, we gotta be mindful of that. That's a hefty multiple, meaning that we're already pricing in the future growth of it. So just be mindful of that.
Outdated investing rules.
Whew. I'll go down Ian's path here and say diversification. People believe that diversification will reduce risk, which doesn't necessarily always hold to be true. Because if you're diversified across, I don't know, 30 stocks, and the market pulls back, it really hasn't reduced your risk. So you want to be concentrated in an area or a few sectors. Pick a few. I know Ian has two tech, two index. Pick a few sectors that you understand, that you see growth in, not just like growth now, but future growth, future guidance. But technology or whether that's energy or that's healthcare. Look inside those sectors, and especially inside those ETFs. If you're going to go stocks, pick one or two. You don't need 50 companies. You don't even need 30 companies. You need a solid core of companies that you understand. You know the business. You might know the CEO, but if you're really locked in, but you understand the growth story. So I would say that.
Shout out to the Green Jacket community at EYL University. I believe it's 160 members now.
Yeah.
So that's the Green Jacket Club. If anybody that gets over 1,000% rate of return
Yeah.
on an investment or call option trade, we have over 160 members at EYL University with green jackets that earned their green jacket.
Well, we got 160 for the class of 26. So the cutoff for that was.
No, just in general.
Yeah, no, there's more than that. So we got.
No, we're saying just in general.
Okay. Yeah.
Just in general.
Yeah.
But we're so proud of you guys.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being a part of EYL University.
You are.
I am a member.
You are a member.
I am a member.
Yeah, shout out to all the champions. Looking forward to meeting y'all.
The biggest market surprise.
In general or the past week? Because we've had a hell of a week. I think that Leopold story was pretty alarming. A lot of lessons. When I text you as it happened, I was like, "There's gonna be a movie. Somebody's gonna make a movie about this." To see how fast Citadel came in and swooped up that portfolio, that was interesting. To see the companies that he was invested in, I think that was interesting. But again, I don't think he was wrong in the companies he was investing in. I think his strategy was wrong. But they wouldn't want the portfolio if it was companies that were going to
drop down to half still.
That,
so where's the
you know,
30 right here?
listed. There's some solid companies that are in that portfolio that they're going to have a ton of growth still to go.
Oh, yeah,
I know
so
green energy was something that went crazy this year. CMS obviously is going crazy with vaccines. So yeah, that what transpired on Thursday or Wednesday, whatever day it was, that was pretty surprising to me.
You could be right and still be wrong. Somebody told me this about life. And sometimes it's not about right and wrong. Sometimes it's about right and smart.
Mm-hmm.
I'll repeat that.
We just heard this.
Yeah, it's not necessarily about right or wrong. It's about right and smart. So Leo, he wasn't wrong in his estimate, but was he smart in doing the leverage play and being so vocal and different things? Because he's right about the stocks, but he still lost. Sometimes you could be right and still lose.
You know what he didn't have? Time. He didn't have time. Time wasn't an asset. We always say that. Make time your number one asset when you're investing. So if you're going stocks, make sure you long term, you keep them 5, 10, 15, 20. Maybe you never sell them. You pass them down. If you're doing options, give yourself as enough time as possible, because when that expiration starts to near and that data starts to decay, it's going to be tough to come back from. So make sure you give yourself time. If you have more time and you didn't over leverage, you could have probably sit for another few weeks.
Time is the greatest gift of all.
Yeah, fact.
Man, Invest Fest, happy Invest Fest week to those that celebrate. For the faithful only, keep it righteous. Registration is Thursday at 12 o'clock. GWCC is the B building. The C building.
I think we're in C. Mike, are we in C? Text me.
I think it's the C building. GWCC. We back year 6.
Yeah, we're in C.
Invest Fest. Friday, all day Friday.
Wasn't that showing the D major?
Man. Black Tie Gala. Legendary. Saturday all day. After parties on Saturday. There's 2 after parties actually. Link in bio. Do what you like.
Yeah. Get the app,
Do
man.
what you like. There's the after party on Saturday. We will be at Avenue, but there's another after party too. Shout out to PBO. We will be at Avenue. You can get general admission tickets, or you can buy a bottle.
Get the app. Download it.
The moment has come.
Mark, I would get the app. I would look at it now. I would map out the things that I don't want to miss. I definitely don't want to miss. There's certain panels I definitely don't want to miss. Schedule it and live by that.
And
start
Shout
now.
out to Jalen Rose.
Jalen, what up?
Let's talk it out, man. Shout out to Ray Daniels. You know, you added me in the clip. I'm sorry, I didn't accept the request. Like I said, I'm tired of going viral. I'm exhausted. I'm tired of going viral. I just need a break.
Shout out to Ray.
Well, salute to Ray Daniels. It's been a hell of a.
Who else? Shout out to Nori.
Shout out to Big Bank.
DJ EFN. Dream Champs. Who else?
Ash Cash. Decisions. The Breakfast Club. Man, it's been a hell of a press run.
Maybe one more stop. Maybe.
The press run's not over.
Maybe one more stop.
Saving the best for last.
Maybe one more stop.
Saving the best for last. Yeah, we are working. Look, man, it'll all make sense soon. Stay with me, bear with me.
The InvestFest app. That's what the app. InvestFest is. There's an actual app.
It will all make sense soon. Man, sorry to put you guys through so much. The rest. I know it's been difficult for you guys. But it'll all make sense soon.
Shout out to the team, man. Shout out to the entire team.
Fireability.
No, we're not done. Shout out to the entire team. I see. Shout out to Magda. Shout out to Ab. Shout out to Mercedes. I see she's in the chat. This is our moment is here. Our moment is here.
With a bang. We are ending this press tour with a bang. We're not done yet. We got a few more days left. We're going to end with a bang. Then we have a glorious Invest Fest.
And then I'm off the grid.
Going on vacation.
I got swimming lessons to take.
Going on vacation after this, man. I need a vacation. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I need a vacation badly.
Any islands willing to have us for the week, please. Please. Tourist boards, please. We got a whole lesson on tourism. We got no other work, man. Let's see if we can work it in our favor. We love y'all, man. Love is love. Again, shout out to my brother Ian. Happy belated, my guy. Blackout on Wednesday. Atlanta on Thursday, man. It is on, man. Look forward to meeting, seeing, greeting all of you. See us in the streets, see what's up. Bitches free. Love is free. We're gonna spread that. So y'all be good. Traveling mercies to everybody that's flying in. All those that are driving in. Traveling mercies to all of y'all, man. It's that time. It's our time of year, man. This is what excellence looks like in real time. And it's not possible without y'all. So
what's the AMKR before we leave?
Oh, Amcor? Somebody asked if I'm still in Amcor. I am still in Amcor. Yeah, I still am. I think everything took a hit. So the AI story from manufacturing and packaging that took a hit. So yeah, we're still in Amcor. We're not moving.
Okay. Salute. It's been real.
It's been real, y'all.
I'll see you on Blackout. Blackout 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday. And then we're gonna see you at Invest Fest. Thank you so much.
Y'all be good.
Love.
See how enriching. Look at this. Just look at it. Enriching. Miroda. Buffett and Munger. Keys and Shaka. Huberman and Ferris. He was talking about I think like Odysseus and shit, maybe. Just different history shit. I'm watching in the background right now. Gladiator 2 going off. But Denzel had I'm saying he got rings on every finger and shit. Chain, earrings and shit. He the antagonist for sure though. He pretty evil in this shit. I ain't gonna lie. And then, you know, shout out to, you know, one of the GOATs. I disagree with that. Then look, I'm saying, drink champs with who? EYL. Then bro up here was just that shit was. I mean, I'm finna finish listening to it. Come on. Oh yeah, this shit. I thought I was doing it to OBS.
You, your team, and your agents are working together on Monday.com's AI work platform.
Social media, and then I posted a video where I was like, oh, it was like kind of like a motivational video. If you work hard.
I'm playing on the background, but and then I can close this one. Wait, hold on. Ah, shit. Oh yeah, okay. Put it there. I'll leave it like that for now. And this one. Fuck. I've got enough space to put it up there or something. And I think, yeah, this template I had, like I mentioned in the, like I mentioned in the stream earlier. Let me go ahead and knock out this français.
C'est un quartier très calme.
C'est un quartier très calme.
Calme.
C'est un quartier très calme. C'est un quartier très calme. This neighborhood, sit means. Oh, this is. Sit. C apostrophe EST. C'est un quartier très calme. C'est un quartier très calme.
C'est un quartier très calme.
Très calme. This neighborhood is calm. It's very calm.
Super, une robe bleue avec une ceinture.
Avec une ceinture. Ceinture, okay.
Super, une robe bleue avec une ceinture.
Bleu. Okay. I don't know what bleu mean. Super mean great.
Super, une robe bleue avec une ceinture.
Hold on, let me do it slow.
Super, une robe bleue
Dress, blue dress with
ceinture.
belt. Okay, yeah, I mean great. Blue dress with a belt. Cynthia.
Ceinture.
Cynthia. Blue dress with the belt.
Je marche souvent ici avec mon chien.
Je marche souvent. Je marche. I think march mean walk. Yeah. Souvent.
Souvent.
Souvent. Often. Je marche souvent ici avec mon chien. I walk often here. I walk often here with my dog. Je marche souvent.
Souvent.
Souvent. Je marche souvent ici avec mon chien. Mon chien.
Chien.
Je marche souvent. Souvent.
Souvent.
Je marche souvent ici avec mon chien. I say je marche. Je marche. Je vais. Je vais. Je marche souvent ici avec mon chien. I walk here often with my dog. Oh shit, I walk here. Oh, I forgot the often part. Yo, this lady earlier, I was walking with my dog. She was saying what's up to me or something, yo. Like, I don't know, I think she was able to see him at first, but like, kind of walked into the street, so like she was going onto the other side, the grass area, off of the sidewalk. Kind of was two cars kind of parked there, but she said like did some type of hand gesture. You know, I said chunk the deuces. What they do, man? Whatever. 5 to 10 steps later, 5 to 10 seconds later, excuse me. She like saying something, yo. I turn around, look at her. She like, why isn't your dog on a leash? Yeah, okay. Man, some folks be kind of asking for it, bro. And it's just like, yo, it's my dog, like, I ain't about to put him on a leash. He a small schnauzer, he a miniature schnauzer, He ain't the teacup schnauzer, but miniature schnauzer, pretty small. Yeah, I see him. He was in here. Mage. The last Mohicans. But yeah, man, she just kind of pissed me off.
L'attente de marche chante trop fort. L'attente de marche chante trop fort.
La tone.
Tente. L'attente de marche chante trop fort.
La tone de marche. Trop. Or trop mean too, and then far mean loud. Or la tone. The marche.
L'attente de marche chante trop fort. La. Tente. Domar.
Doma.
Chante. Trop. Fort.
Trop far.
Fort.
I don't know what doma or chant mean. chant means sing, but doma. Le ton doma. Le ton mean auntie. Oh, Omar's. Okay, Omar. I was gonna say what Domar did. I knew it sounded like somebody's name, but Omar's aunt sings too loudly. Okay. Fuck is Omar.
Excuse-moi, je suis
Excuse-moi,
très
je suis
pressé aujourd'hui.
très précis aujourd'hui.
Excuse-moi, je suis très pressé aujourd'hui.
Très précis.
Pressé.
Précis. Very hurry. Very hurry. What the fuck?
Très.
Très. Très. Excusez-moi, je suis très précis aujourd'hui. Hurry.
Pressé.
In a rush. Very in a rush. Very in a hurry. Excusez-moi. I am very in a hurry. I am very in a rush.
Suis.
Aujourd'hui, today.
Aujourd'hui.
What I said earlier, I feel anxious. So, what's the one thing I ain't do my build today? I ain't do my building on my operator, my agent. I forgot about the Apprentice movie. Forgot it was streaming on here. I'm finna go to YouTube though. Finish watching that clip I just was playing. Excusez-moi, je suis très précis aujourd'hui. Excuse me. It don't even got like excuse me.
Excuse.
It just starts at I'm very in a hurry today. I'm in a hurry today. Excuse me, moi. Oh, me. Sorry. No, I mean, excuse me. I'm tripping. Whatever.
Oui, ma nièce est amusante.
Oui.
Oui, ma nièce.
Oh, it's a
Oui.
oui.
Ma
Ma
nièce
niece.
est amusante.
Amusante. My niece is interesting. Right? Interessant. Amusant. Funny. Amusant. Funny. Yeah. Ma mère. Ma mère.
Mère.
Ma mère est précis.
Pressé.
Mon père
Père.
est précis.
Pressé.
Aussi.
Aussi.
Ouf. Viola les bousses.
Bu. Voilà.
Voilà les bousses. My mom is in a hurry. My father's in a hurry. Also, oof, there's the bus. I am happy. Un content. Un no content. No un content. Je suis content.
Content.
Passe.
Pas.
Mm. Maison.
Maison.
Ma maison est grande. Grande. I am happy because parce que ma maison est grande. 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 Oui.
Cassé.
Elle casse. Et elle est cassée.
Cassé.
J'ai tout dit. J'ai tout dit. Ouf. La clé. La clé. Don.
Do.
Et don.
Et. Do.
Mo
Ma
poche.
poche.
J'ai un nephew. Ni vous. Et il habite. Ok. J'ai un neveu. Et il habite à Paris.
Ton canapé.
Ton canapé. My couch. I spell can. No P is it? See, I spelled it wrong. Fuck. What was it?
J'adore Omar. C'est le frère de Paul. Il est mexicain et il est très amusant. Mais il chante trop fort. Joyeux anniversaire.
Fuck.
J'adore Omar. C'est le frère de Paul. Il est mexicain et il est très amusant. Mais il chante trop fort. Joyeux anniversaire.
Excuse-moi, je suis très pressé
Sorry,
aujourd'hui.
I'm in a hurry today.
Ton canapé.
Ton canapé. Look how many days. Started with like Spanish. I ain't been doing multiple over there. Just kind of progressed through. I did Arabic for like a month or so, and I intend to like start back doing it like both of them a day and a day. You see, my dog was in there laying down somewhere else, but yo, see how obedient. You know, it be itching and stuff so much. So all I gotta do is say, yo, you know what I'm saying? She asked me, why isn't your dog on the leash? Yo, he's plenty of people. You know what I'm saying? The restriction, that's kind of like, man, I fucking hate it. So many restrictions, so many needless restrictions, right? You're like, hey, she down there kind of, like, I wouldn't be surprised if I would have asked, like, what do you, like a police? Like, but I would have meant more so, like, are you like the pet police type shit? A dog police, you know, what they call them? Animal control. But I wouldn't been surprised if I would just said it like that without specifying like pet police type shit. If I would just simply said, asked, are you a police? She probably would, actually I am type shit, you know? I don't even want to like give my personal opinion on her, you know? But, I mean, so rather, it's like this though. Yo, it's like the needless restrictions of things. Yo, whatever, like I'm saying, somebody they have a well-behaved dog or well-behaved pet, and it's not like, and I truly mean that, just objectively speaking, not even just like saying it conveniently or nothing, yo. There could be a service that could be provided to help other people be able to have more harness without actually having a physical leash on their dog, and the dog like walks by them and or maybe I don't even want to call it wandering, but like, yeah, he don't have to be attached to your ankle, obsequious. I fucking can't understand. Can't stand, like it irritates the fuck out of me when this dog is being too obsequious, meaning excessively observant or excessively attentive and like servile. So yeah, he can go like one like roam some, rover some, and then like, oh, I'm up a couple yards ahead, then he catch back up, or he's a couple of yards ahead, and then like, but he don't get too like, you know, it doesn't like, yo, he'll smell my scent and see like if he's roved somewhere and got like occupied for a while, then he won't like just dart out into the street, yo. He's observant of cars and shit like that, not gonna harm itself. So all of those little things like that, but it come from like, yo, I never walked them on a leash. To be all the way on age 5 years old, 5 years, I never walked them on a leash. Not about to start just because you got some type of fucking hey, you can have a genuine concern. Not putting them on a leash. Fuck your concern. Fuck.
Go there, and there were some girls there. I don't know if they were Instagram models or whatever. They wanted to take a picture of me. It was not that deep at all. It goes on social media, and then I posted a video where I was like, oh, it was like kind of like a motivational video. If you work hard at a specific thing, you have to be smart about what you work hard on. Because if you work hard in corporate, yeah, maybe life is not. You're not going to be rich because you're selling your time for money. You can never get rich off doing that. There needs to be the potential for an increase and an appreciation over time. But I went and I posted that video, and my entire community turned their back against me. They were throwing a shit show. They were mad about it, and they were like, "Oh, this Jet guy, he's faking it. He's LARPing. He's too good looking to have been socially excluded growing up." It's like there's not a picture of like I'll give you my life savings right now if you can find a picture of me going to any school dance, prom. I didn't go to graduation. I didn't go to anything. I truly was isolated, but these people could not comprehend the fact that now that I started to level up in life, it's like you either die here or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And they just came after me, and they were like, this guy, he's 6'5". Like, I never even lied about my height online. I just, when you would go online and just like, you're 6'5", it's like, oh, that's cocky, or they would say I'm lying. So I just like wouldn't mention it. I was on a very popular Ghostmaster stream, and they were like asking me how tall I was, and I was like, I'm 6'5", and everyone thought I was bullshitting. Everyone on the internet was like, this dude's not 6'5", and then a picture came out with me working out with some fitness influencers, and they're like, dude, this guy's 6'5", like there's no way that he has life hard. It's like, what do you like? So you can't win with these people. But anyways, they really were mad about me basically leveling up, and they're like, yeah, he always had friends. It's like, so this guy was an influencer. Why would you think that I would be friends with him before I ever started doing content? Or like, I don't know, but like you were saying about that whole like incel community, it's kind of the same thing happened for me, but I've never been a part of the incel community. I've always been a part of the like male loneliness epidemic. That was more my target audience.
Well, it's the narcissism of small differences, right? If you go to the same school as somebody else and you have ostensibly similar skills, the difference in your outcomes is on them. It's on their, like, imagine a split test universe in which one of them you end up being a real success and in another one you end up being a real failure. The guy that was the failure would feel really bad because he had all of the raw materials to become the guy that was the success. Like, true hell is when the person that you are meets the person you could be. And a lot of the time people feel like, oh, I grew up with that guy and he was no more special than I was. This is one of the things I think is kind of interesting about content creation generally, and the fact that lots of people consume lots of podcasts, YouTube, Instagram, and the issue that you have there is the talent delta is not as obvious as doing something that is more refined, like playing a musical instrument or being great at basketball. Most people, I mean, if you sat anybody down with 2 microphones, they have technically recorded a podcast, no matter how big of a car crash that can be. If you give somebody a saxophone, they cannot reliably make a note come out of it, especially if they're untrained. So because the expertise skill delta doesn't feel as inaccessible, the small differences become even smaller. Like, very few people are looking at Steph Curry and going, fucking Steph Curry, dude. Like, the only reason that he got that is because his dad was in the NBA. It's like, no, the dude's a generational talent who literally changed the points game of NBA, of basketball, the way that game's played. Regardless of whether his dad was great or not, which he was, but Steph went and did his own thing. No one's looking at that and saying the only reason that he's got that because no one can do what he does. The more that people think that they can do what you do, the less respect they have
guy, and then eventually he makes a video and he goes, you know, the real reason why I hate this Jet guy is because I make the same content as him. And he's like, I do the same, and it's like you going, it's not the same. This guy is completely delusional. It's object, like he's recording on it. It's like an Android from like 2010 or something. I'm like, first off, your camera quality sucks, but he's like, yeah, this guy, he's just as basic as everyone else. He just has a better face, so that's why everyone. And it's like, oh, okay. First off, holy coat, but second off, it's like if people assume that they can do what you're doing, but you're getting big off it, they're hating you more. Like you said, do you know who the streamer Rakai is?
Oh, is that the dude that did the Beasts thing and was kind of the villain? He was like he's like a bit of a villain dude.
Mr. Beast?
No, Rakai. He did a 100 streamers compete for cash. I swear, he's like kind of a bit of a nuisance. Or
He is. Okay.
I swear
I don't know if I'm not
video.
like super familiar with him, but
Right.
he's very young, very young. I don't even think he's graduated high school yet, and he's just kind of hollow-headed, trying to find like he's not the sharpest tool in the shed, but he acts crazy. He doesn't really speak English, so he speaks English. That's his language, but you can't understand him, and that's the joke about him online. But anyways, this kid he has a.
It is the one that I meant. Streamer Rakai participated in the highly publicized Mr. Beast $1 million streamer challenge video. His intensely competitive, aggressive play style and interactions with other creators made him one of the most talked about controversial figures in the event. Yes, I do know who you mean.
Yeah, so this guy is one of the most hated people on the internet, and just the reason to sum it up, and they don't understand this. They don't consciously know this is why. But this guy doesn't even talk good English. He doesn't.
He did it himself though, man.
Necessarily exceptional, but so they look at that and they're like,
I can do that.
I can do that, but not only that, I can do it better. I'm smarter than him. But I feel no negative way towards that guy. I'm not trying.
That's the key right there. I forgot how like somebody put it, but look, you can't like like how you just said. They had that perspective. Well, it added like different color or like slightly a nuanced thing when he just explained it how like Rakai. But you can't be somebody like you can be both ways. No one can be you better than you can be you. No one. You can't be someone else better than that person can be themselves. You can't be them better than they can be them. So that's what's gonna constantly cause them the frustration. Like this is gonna constantly cause them or you frustration if you think you can be someone else better than someone else can be themselves. And it ain't even like that's what I'm saying. It ain't even like you have to try, like you have to put forth a conscious effort, yeah, honestly, because the things that you do subconsciously, others, if like these things are charming about you or like just things that are advantages for you, it's like them things that you do subconsciously. I'm talking about like you're tired, you're not even putting no effort, like, or you're just doing like, you really can't even explain these things. You're not even noticing until like maybe somebody pointed it out for you. It can be even flaws. Or like it can be just like different idiosyncrasies that are like you probably consider as a flaw, but like other people find it charming or amusing and shit. Again, you're not deliberately or like consciously thinking like it's your disposition. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like it's literally effortless to them. It's natural to them. You can't be someone else better than they can be themselves. They can't be you better than you can be yourself.
I'm gonna knock him in any way. But yeah, of course. So people are like, oh, I can easily be that type of guy. Like with the streamer stuff, I have a friend of mine who is trying to make it as a streamer, and thing about it is all these underground streamers, these people that are trying to come up, it's just copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. And I was telling him, I was like, respectfully, how in the world are you ever going to make it if you are the product and there's no product differentiation? How in the world are you going to make it? You know, he went to Streamer University. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but Kai Cenat, one of the biggest, not even just streamers, content creators in the world, does this thing once a year now where he invites out all these streamers to this like school for like a week or something, and it's like class, and it's just an entertainment thing. It's nothing too serious, but people literally quit their jobs. They drive across the country to go to these auditions. But the thing is, Kai Cenat only lets in already known people.
Yep.
And all these other people, it's like you watch the videos and the footage, and you know the cops had to shut it down. It's just copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. These people have the same personalities. And I was telling my friend, I was like, I'm obviously going to support you, and I've always been like, hey, you need to keep doing this thing. But it's like if you're doing the same thing that everyone else is doing, how in the world do you think at some point there's going to be like a switch that's flipped? Because back in the day, you could get 3 viral videos, and all of a sudden you're a known person on Vine. Nowadays, you record 50, and you're still, and then you don't drop something for a week, and you fell off. So like things have to, you just have to keep on relentlessly getting these viral clips. But what makes clips for the big people go viral is the fact that it's the big people in the clip, not that they're necessarily entertaining in and of itself. So you have to put your time in the game, and yeah, people are just really mad because they're like, I don't understand why I can't be where I want to be. Well, you have to find a way to product differentiate, and you know maybe the reason that you're not succeeding as much as me or as much as someone else is simply because you're not that person. You think you are, but you're not that person, and that's the biggest issue. Everyone is just projecting, oh, I deserve to be X, Y, and Z. When I was at the bottom, when I had less than 10,000 followers, I would find other creators in a somewhat similar niche as me that had around a little bit more followers than me, and I would literally look at their videos and be like, that is shit. I would be like, I am so much, like I'm convinced, I'm like, my videos are so much better. And slowly but surely, I start getting past them, and then I'm like, all right, who's the next one? Who's the next one? And like we were talking about before, that goalpost never ends. There's always someone else.
Correct.
But I was like, I would get mad at it, and I thought I was better, but I didn't really do nothing about it. I did something about it, and that's sort of the difference.
Well, the difference is between simulating what somebody else does and learning inspiration that can help you improve. Right? The best that you can hope for if you're trying to be somebody else is to be the second best in the world.
Yeah.
Right? And being them.
Yeah.
And you are the 0th in the world at being yourself.
Never.
Wow, you really can't buy a car online on Auto Trader. Even on the set of an Auto Trader commercial.
Can you still talk to someone when you're buying online?
Testing, really? You have local dealers behind the scenes.
Partially.
Not fully satisfied? Your color, your hair, you got committed.
Heck,
If you want to finish in the dealership, do you really understand the process from scratch? With Auto Trader, your info stays with you at every step. No starting over. Really? Really? Great to work with you, Doug. Can I get a ride back to set? Buy your car online on Auto.
moving kind of forces you to rethink what you're paying for. Switching to a Google Fi wireless phone plan is an easy place to start saving. What's not so easy is eating it. Unlimited phone
Authenticity is an interesting one because what everybody likes the idea of is seeing a person who is just being themselves. There's no filter, they're not playing a game, they're not trying to perform, they're not trying to finesse me into believing that there's something that they're not or pretend that they're not something that they are. but there's kind of there's like a window of tolerance that people are prepared to live inside of. And as soon as you get outside of it, what you realize is that the internet is desperate for authenticity, but it's allergic to sincerity.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Like if you are genuinely sincere, genuinely earnest about something, the internet is desperate for authenticity, but it's allergic to sincerity.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Like if you are
Yo.
genuinely
Okay.
sincere, genuinely earnest about something, like you go through a hard time and you talk about it with some beautiful montage over the top, and it's sort of all fluffy and bubbly at the end. It's the why's question, right? Like how deep do you go with the why? Whereas if you see a dude do an Instagram video and he breaks down crying in it, you go, oh no, that's too much sincerity. I wasn't that. I have an aversion to that, and this kind of just goes to show how limited the internet's preparedness for empathy is, and also how narrow most people's tolerance for an emotional window is. It's like you're allergic to somebody genuinely showing their emotions, especially when they're out of control. If it doesn't seem like they are in control of the way that they're operating anymore, that seems like a lack of congruence, a lack of competence. Yeah. Internet is desperate for authenticity and allergic to sincerity.
You know, it's interesting. Robert Greene says that authenticity is bullshit and it doesn't exist. And I was thinking about that. And I think when people say authenticity or that person is authentic, it's like, let's say there's a spectrum and they're closer to their genuine self than the average person. And then you're like, oh, that person's authentic. But they're not truly, if you take it in the absolute sense of the word, they're not truly authentic, because I think that would probably be social suicide, right? Like if you really just say what you believe. Listen, when I was in high school, this was the whole thing. I wasn't very well liked when I was in high school, and kind of the reason was because part of it was I was resentful. I started reading a lot of books, and I got smart, and it's like the Dunning-Kruger effect. I thought I was a lot smarter than everyone else, when in reality I really didn't know much. But a big thing was I really thought that honesty was completely virtuous, and just being as raw and as honest with someone was like the best thing you could do, which now is just not true. Like now I know that to be not true. To give you an example, this is gonna make me this sounds crazy, and I do not, like, anyone that's listening to this, do not do this, but we were at one of those football games on Friday night, and I went there, and this girl, probably, I think she was under the influence, and she was like, she just straight up asked me, do you think I'm pretty? And I'm like, here we go with this like fishing bullshit. Like I was like, no, but I didn't say it in a mean way. I was just like, no, in a very neutral way. And she's like, what do you mean? Do you think I'm ugly? And I was like, yes, which is insanely immature, but that was how I felt, and I thought that that was okay. And also, I wouldn't go out of my way to say that to someone ever, but she asked me, so I thought it was the right way. That didn't go over well. So that didn't go over well. I got a bunch of pushback, and I remember I would go home and I'd be like, pushback, these people, yeah, pushback, whatever that means in high school. And yeah, I mean, no wonder these people didn't like me. I think they were totally valid for not liking me, but I would go home and I would be like, I was in the right there. I was in the right. But it's like, what do you like? This is such kindergarten. Like, this is such psychologically infantile type of activity. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, look, have you ever read Sam Harris's essay "Lying"? It's an hour-long book. He wrote it with his wife. It's fucking great. It's like a 60-page treatise on why you should never.
Wait, is this the one where he says if your wife is pregnant, she asks you if she looks good? Oh yes, I read that a long time ago.
It's pretty good. People should revisit it. I think you can get it for free. It's basically a long podcast. It's just an essay, and he wrote it with his wife. Interestingly enough, there is definitely a like philosophical underpinning where you can say any lie, including a white lie, at any time is a bad idea. Like the Anne Frank in the attic thing. It's like just go up and get her, no worries. But functionally, it can put you in situations like this, right? And I think that you can have a kind of decorum. You can be classy in the way that you sort of show. Like you can say things that don't fully. It's like, look, there's a type of girl for everyone, and I'm sure that I'm not for you. But you know, I don't think that we'd make a great couple. And you're like, whatever the fuck. And then you're like, scot free. fucking tell the truth at all times,
Yeah.
you end up in situations like this, where
Yeah.
a girl that's drunk on a Friday night at a football game
Yeah.
just wants to hear from some boy that she's like cute or whatever. And what she gets is like a existential kick in the nuts. Dude, you're fucking awesome. I think everyone should go and subscribe to your channel. Where should people go? Check out.
Jeff Franzen with JTT2Ts on social media with Instagram, TikTok, and then yeah, if you just search up my name on YouTube, it should show up. I think it's got like some other bullshit in the name, but just search up Jeff Franzen, and you'll probably get 50 videos of people shitting on me. So that's
I searched you, and it seems to be your content, and your stuff rules. I think you're great, man, and keep going. I'm gonna be watching. I'm gonna be supporting from the sideline. Shout out your dad as well.
yeah, shout out my dad. Thank you so much for having me. This is an honor. Seriously.
You crushed it. You crushed it. All right. Goodbye, sweeties. See you next time. Bro, yes. Yes, dude. Sick. Well done. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed that episode, another one that I know you love. It's just in.
Amenicio Ortega, the genius behind Inditex Group. For sure. Zara, one of the richest fashion guys. He up there competing with he probably just ahead or just behind Arnaud. To the 2 and then put on a minor chord, and that'll be all the extensions. It seems like that's been consistent throughout these. So look, starting from the C minor again. C minor, triad, then the C minor 7th. Stop it. Oh, this C major, tripping. 7th down a half step. 2. Yep, and then keep the right hand, these extensions the same. Okay, that makes sense. I was on the C, I was on the D sharp minor, or is it major? I was going back, I did both. Now E. E sharp, I mean E, just E minor. That'll be the 5th. Wait, what? That'll be the 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. See, this the only one. In the left hand, if I start on the second and then do a minor triad, I don't know if it's completely accurate. It sounds more harmonious. But I think so. Yeah, let me type it in. The F sharp, then A. Oh, where is it? Where's it? 13. F sharp, then A. Yeah, see, that's probably why I don't have it listed. What about the 13th? Pentatonic scale used for lead guitar solos. Oh yeah. That's probably why, but like I said, it sound lush, suspended. I keep saying that, lush and suspended, but complex extensions like 11 and 13th, the 3rd and the 5th is often left out on keyboard or guitar to prevent a muddy sound. Right, lush and suspended. Yeah, see, the 11th, they keep saying lush and suspended. I knew it. 9, smooth and open. 11, lush and suspended. it's like, I don't know, dominant and then suspended, augmented, augmented and suspended. Yeah, okay. But if major extensions, I'm trying to see like what's FAC is major. FACE and then G. This would be the fourth. And the sixth would be sharp without the seventh, giving an open bright feel. Okay. Higher extensions built by stacking thirds into upper register. E sharp. E sharp, what? F, nigga? For sevenths. Yeah, G sharp for ninths. Uh-huh. A sharp or what? For 11th, 13th, depending on color. A, is that Yeah, so it ain't exactly that. It's like taking the C, taking the second, and then yeah, for the minor. So if you're on the major, if you're on the minor chord, the 1, 3, 5, and 7 in the left hand. Then start on the 2, which is the ninth, and add the 4th or the 11th, and then the 6th, which is the 13th. But so it start on the 2 and make a minor triad. But when you're doing the major, four four note chord, start on the 2 with this one and just raise the 11th instead of doing the minor chord. Play the major triad instead of the minor triad. Yo, this guy is crazy. Steve Martin on this Pink Panther shit. Oh shit. I got to charge the damn laptop. Let me stop this. Let me punch it. Punch. Excuse me. Punch match these vocals. So I got this other mic right here too. So eventually I start recording as I implement my system, man, and get the rhythm going consistently. Then I guess I'll like attach this microphone here so I can stream and record my vocals at the same time. Record my vocals into Pro Tools, but then also so the stream can hear it. But let me see. It was the conservatory, cluster 1. Constructioning and extensions. Stevie. Burke Baccarat. Say D'Angelo. I'm really on week 4 of this 12-week year cycle. So and it's like the third 12-week year, ain't it? Yeah. But tune in the morning for the fly fast intense training session. You get me? Well, it froze as soon as I got, but advanced. Now I'm on section 12. Still on level 11, but section 4 now. Okay. Okay, makes sense, man. Okay, man. Bonne nuit. Au revoir. Sayonara. Arrivederci. Fly fast, intense training session in the AM. Tap in if you're inspired with ambition to realize or overachieve your full potential. Submit your applications to join the Fly Air Crew, going solar, fly beyond infinity.